Welcome on in. Today I'm going to teach you how to survive the crucial first few days in Sons of the Forest. Getting started in this game is a challenge, and if you came from the forest, you're in for a shock as the difficulty is ramped up quite a bit. Not to worry though, after watching this video, you'll be armed with all the knowledge you need to tackle the wilderness.
Even when you feel low, you can still go.
Build a basic bow and spear as soon as you can. These weapons are crude, but do offer good benefits while you're hunting down the next two weapons on this list. Both the spear and the bow will help keep you safe and fighting at somewhat of a distance when you're tackling the more challenging enemies you're going to run into in Sons of the Forest. After you build your spear, and hopefully your bow if you got some rope, head towards the modern axe as soon as possible. It's located near one of the exclamation marks on your map, and it's in a small unmanned camp. Just like the last game, this weapon is very strong. It is located on the open map, it's easy to get to, and it is a must-have item when you start your playthrough of Sons of the Forest. Once you have the modern axe, you're going to want a better distance weapon. I suggest you head towards the pistol. This is another open world item that you can get at any time. This one's actually located in the ocean on a raft. When you check your PDA, you'll see the exclamation mark I'm talking about. There's a solid distance between the pistol and the modern axe, so while you're making the trek, look for small camps along the way. I will say try to avoid any of the camps that actively have cannibals in them early game, and opt for a camp that is a little bit less guarded. Just scavenge what you can for food and drinks and keep moving. So once you have all your weapons, one thing you need to do is set up your backpack. The game got rid of the traditional hot swap bar and opted for the backpack system. Open your inventory, add your backpack to the crafting zone, and then add other items you want to put on your backpack to the crafting zone as well. This will add these items to your backpack and allow you to hot swap outside of your inventory. All you need to do is hold I, and it will pull the backpack out and put it in front of you, and you can click on the items you want to swap to instead of setting up your entire inventory again. Now, I'm not a huge fan of this due to the inability to make quick changes during combat, but it does add to the immersion, and I think that's what their team was going for. Don't build a base early on. In this game, you need to explore in the early days. There are enough resources scattered around at points of interest and in caves to keep you stocked early on. Not only that, exploring caves and points of interest is a great way to build your inventory prior to settling down. In my experience, being on the move the first few days is what keeps you alive. Save the base building for after you've done some exploring. Instead of building a base, spend your time diving into caves, killing mutants, and looting. Caves are a great source of creepy armor, which is a solid armor for early game. While you're exploring, use your tarps to set up save spots outside of caves and points of interest. Do not be afraid to save often, as you only get 2 deaths before the game permanently ends. So if you die early game, don't be afraid to reload your game. There's no shame in saving those 2 deaths for a later point in the game. Hopefully these tips help you in the early days. Sons of the Forest can be a brutal place solo, and with this information, you should have a better chance of surviving and finding that billionaire.
I never ran, said no, man, I still go.